G'day lovely people, and welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'm Nat, this is my Knackers Yard, and this is some of my ongoing stuff. Probably more of that later. I still need to do some playing. Dave's awesome, although I do have a slightly knackered Speedo that I need to sort out. My cup of tea is there, and here we have RatBoy. Now, I've done a lot of thinking and a bit of tinkering this week, and I think I am going to persevere with the yellow. So that should please Mike, if nobody else. Why I'm going for a bit of a theme on this. I think my kids are right, and it does look like Bumblebee with the front. So what I have done is played with the front throughout the week. I didn't do any filming yesterday. I won't go into too much detail, but we had big plans this weekend that all went a bit kibosh. Yeah, wedding anniversary didn't quite work out how it was intended. COVID stuff, everybody's fit, healthy, etc. So yeah, a little bit of domestic isolation not helping stuff, but it has meant that I did manage to get some tinkering done that I hadn't think I was able to. So the top yoke is now looking better, actually looking quite 80s, I think, quite straight lines and sharp lines. Are you spotting a theme? Yeah, like that, and it's come up really quite well. So I'll chuck up some pictures here of the before, the during and the after. So yeah, that's looking pretty good, I think, or looking pretty good, looking a damn sight freaking better anyway, let's put it that way. On the bracket, now I don't know if you remember, but that's just padding on the inside, and it was all overlapping at the bottoms. Now I was just going to strip it and redo it. I didn't realise I didn't really have anything that I could replace it with, so what I've done is just trimmed it at the top, trimmed it at the bottom, left it in, and then sprayed the whole thing and just gone black, and gone black on the brackets as well, that you can just see hiding around behind there. I was going to spray the headlights themselves, but actually back to black, and it's just gone fine. In the black and yellow, in the Bumblebee-esque look, I've gone for a yellow cowling. So I wasn't going to replace it, but the more I looked at it, the original was just out of a bit of stamped steel, which looked proper gash. Well, no, it looked nice and ratty, but not really. You know, I'm moving away from a sort of rat theme to a slightly battle damaged Bumblebee theme as much as anything else. So I wanted to replace that. So it's flattened out because I used it as a template, so to get the holes in the right place, because they were just about in the right place, a small cutout to fit the actual socket, the plug for the Speedo. But what I did do was I extended it a little bit, so I took it a little bit further just to raise. In fact, you can see one-on-one there. It's, you know, raised it by about 1.5 centimeters just to get a bit more height up, because it was clashing with the clocks a little bit, with the lock set a little bit too much. So I'll keep that and use that as a test sheet. So that's a little bit higher. Gone black on the hangers for the, it's a bit dark, black on the hangers for the indicators, and up on the top. Now there is a finishing touch on the top. Now I'll drop up a picture in a sec, but it had like a horrible metal rose gold, which is just minging around there, as I'll chuck up some pictures here. And what I'll do through the magic of fantastic editing, I'll show you what really is my thought process for the black and yellow, and I'll do it on the magic of a click. And a magic click later, that's what I'm looking for. Not the yellow, not the black, but the black and yellow, the mixture. I think I wasn't quite sure how that was going to look, but I think that looks amazeballs. Right, let's get on with some other bits. What I do want to check today is the fan. a little bit of consultation and a chat with one of the subscribers. Thanks, mate. Always good to reach out. It seems to be a common issue with them, is the fact that their fans are notoriously a bit crap. But what I have done is looked up, potentially buying one, but it's just not worth it, frankly. But I do know what it looks like and where it is now, so I'm going to clean the termination, see if that makes any difference. Failing that, I've also ordered a switch just to go up and bang it up there. Now, it is unseasonably hot in the UK, but the guy, sorry mate, can't remember your name, I'll flash it up and text at the bottom and I'll look it up. Thank you. Seems to be, he doesn't use his, never has. Does have a, or wrong, his has a temperature light on it, he just keeps an eye on it. That being the case, I don't have a problem with chucking a switch up here, that I'll do, but I am going to clean that out next and see if I can make it a little bit better. Cool. Right, so having a look at this thermostat then. So the thermostat is the air. So I've just pulled this plug off here, and you can see it's kind of corroded. Well, you can kind of see it's kind of corroded, but that's the plug that goes into it. So if I just, I've got power on at the moment, if I just bridge that with one hand is not simple. Come on. Right, back in a sec. Let's try that again. So I've got it mostly set up there. See if I can just push it in with one finger. Probably not. Right, so that works. So what I'm guessing is then that is the element there, right under there, that actually connects to turn the fan on. It looks a bit ropey, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a douche, plug it back in, but what I'm probably going to end up doing is just putting a switch on the handlebars. Coolio. Right, so that's the thermostat switch nicely cleaned out now, and the actual switch underneath it as well. So it might work, might not, but frankly I've got a switch coming anyway, not a drama. Going on to my light and the rear light, it's really weird. There's something in the wiring of this bike that's hokey, even with the original light on. Now, not helped by the fact I've got my jumper box on, so no power. I've got no side light on this at all, which I don't know if it is an MOT issue. So that's on side light, I get nothing. On normal, I've got normal and full beam, obviously. So that's light on. Now, it's bright day, so you're going to struggle to see, but you know, that light is on. Now, if I do brake, I'm not sure what you can see there, but brake works. I think that foot brake, actually, I haven't tried that one. Yeah, foot as well. So brake works, and it starts. But what I've had to do, and I'm charging there because my battery's low. Now that's the connection for the rear light. Now I only get the ignition. I did some sort of immobilizer on it. If I go from, so that is the brake, so the red going into there on the left hand side is the brake. So when I do front brake or back brake, that increases the light at the back or turns more of the LEDs on. The one on the right hand side there, where are you? Can't see what you're looking at. There you go. One on the right hand side should be the normal running light, should be the headlight. You know, turn the lights on, it comes on. Now I have to bridge between the two, between the earth and that, to get it to start. Now I've tried that with the switch in as well, with the light switch in as well, and it just doesn't work. So I get no rear light at all. However, because this is set up for two headlights, both of the lights are jury-rigged into one. So I have a spare light socket. So I've gone from, you know, normal beam, main beam, on that into the rear light, and it works. Which is really, I don't like running a direct line across the length of the bike, but I can't think of a better way of doing it. My only concern is if I go full beam, yeah. So I'm on, it's on the main beam. If I go full beam, then it dies. So I'm going to have to attach into both at this end. So let me see if I can do a bodge rig of one of those just to check it works before I go nap, but that's going to be my solution. Let's have a look. Right, and there we go with some interesting branch wiring. I stressed this is a bodge while I'm working it out. It's not the end state, but I now have a working light. I can't see my screen. There we go, a working light whether I'm on full beam or not. So I have a solution. Not the most elegant solution in the world, but I have a solution. I can quite easily just tuck, obviously not a bright white wire. I'll chase that black, nip it through, just run it down the frame. Right, now what? I think it's tank time. I'll take that tank off, drain it, and just whack a load of paint stripper. Well, obviously take the cap off. Whack a load of paint stripper on it and see how bad the damage is underneath it. Now, what I'm going to try and do, I think, is just tart it up a little bit. I don't think I'm going to get rid of everything, but I can certainly do something. Shite, I'm out of filler. No, I've got a tiny bit left. I doubt I'm going to get filling today. It's just going to be stripping. That said, possibly the most effective stripper I could use is petrol. But I'm not chucking petrol around. Not the brightest of ideas. Right, yeah, I'm going to get that tank off. Right, so that's the tank off. I've got quite good at that by now. It has reminded me of something. Now, where's it gone? I keep routinely losing it. Right, what I have here is, I haven't bridged that. That was like it to start with. I do not know what it is. It's off the main loom on the way to directly next to the CDI. That cable goes back to all of the light cluster. Any ideas, people? Have a look at that when you get onto the manual, the service manual again. Right. While it's off for convenience and while I've got the bike in a good position, I'm going to whip the panels off as well because they're going to get a paint too. Speaking of paint, I'm going to go mostly yellow, but with some sort of, I don't want to say pinstriping because it's not pinstriping, but with some sort of black detail on it. And I want to use some of that black detail to cover up the keckiest bits of the paint. So tank yellow and black, panels yellow and black. I think what I'm also going to do is go for a bit yellow on the side panels of the radiator, potentially the grille as well, if I can get it off nicely. Right, let's get those panels off. Right, so there we go, panels off, side panels of the radiators off. I've had a quick go at getting these off, but they've been quite thoroughly painted on, so it's too hot to struggle with that at the moment, and I'm in no rush. So yeah, I think that'll do me for the day. I'm going to push the bike away, get it off its amazing stands. Thanks again, Mike. They've been a complete and utter lifesaver, particularly on this project and probably for many more. Yeah, I am gonna chuck some paint stripper on those and just let them do their thing, and then have a piss about in the garden with the family. Yeah, today is my our wedding anniversary. 18 years, Jesus. Yeah, so I'm going to dedicate this to the most tolerant woman in the world, my missus, who lets me do stuff like this, and and gives me the opportunity to film it so that others learn from my mistakes. So yeah, this one is dedicated to somebody who's never going to watch it because she hears enough of me in real life, let alone to see it on a screen as well. Love you, babe. Cheers all. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Share the wealth. Yeah, I'm pleasantly intrigued by this one. It is just weird. It is going to be a bit marmitey, but I'm going for the distinctly odd on this one for exactly the reason of doing something odd. I just need to get it out of my system, piss around with a bike, completely mess it up, end up with something that's almost laughable at the end. And that's the point. I've done a lot of serious stuff for a while now, and I just want to have a giggle with a bike. And this is certainly making me smile. Cheers all, I'll catch you later. Ta-da.